Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're unpacking a truly revolutionary way to interact with and, well, literally chat with YouTube videos. And here is the absolute best part. You can do it without watching your Cloud API bill tick up with every single question. Today we're looking at a brilliant open source system called LocalTube AI. It's basically a completely private way to turn hours of video content into an interactive, highly searchable knowledge base running entirely right on your own machine.
The crucial point right out of the gate here is the stark contrast in cost and privacy. Look, normally, if you want an AI to analyze a massive video transcript, you have to ship all that data off to a cloud provider like OpenAI or Google, right? That means you're paying for every single token you process and you're handing over your data to a third party. And let's be honest, that probably means your hyper-specific research on, say, vintage toaster repair is now quietly feeding an ad algorithm somewhere. But by leveraging a fully local architecture, LocalTube AI gives you unlimited video transcript parsing. You can process 50 videos, you can process 500 videos, and your cost remains exactly zero. Plus, you get absolute data privacy because everything stays strictly locked down on your own hardware.
Notice how this architectural shift completely moves us away from the traditional cloud-based hybrid model. Sure, the hybrid approach is great if you need massive, rapid scaling, but it inherently relies on external APIs like Gemini or ChatGPT. And that drains your budget and sends your proprietary data out into the wild. On the flip side, we've got this 100% local and private architecture. We are entirely bypassing those expensive cloud setups. Instead, we're embracing a completely offline system where nothing ever leaves your machine. This is absolutely perfect for strict corporate compliance, air-gapped offline environments, or, just anyone who wants to keep their research securely to themselves.
So you might be wondering, how is this offline independence actually achieved? Well, it relies on a really modern open-source stack built on three key pillars. First up, Next.js 15 handles the framework and the user interface. Second, Llama acts as the local AI model runtime, which is what allows you to run powerful language models locally without your computer breaking a sweat. And third, ChromaDB serves as your localized vector database. There are literally no API keys here, no monthly subscriptions, just pure, localized compute power doing the heavy lifting.
Now, since we're dealing with complex data retrieval, you already know we're leaning on RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. But what makes LocalTube AI's implementation so special is that this semantic search happens entirely locally. Rather than doing basic, clunky keyword matching, the system takes the transcript and actually converts the concepts into semantic embeddings. Specifically, it uses 768-dimensional vectors that capture the true underlying meaning of the text. So when you query the system, it rapidly traverses this localized vector space to find relevant context mathematically, retrieves it, and feeds it straight to your local AI. It's essentially the precision of enterprise-grade RAG running right on your desk.
The real lifeblood of LocalTube AI is its incredibly elegant architecture, which is split into two main tasks. You've got the ingest flow, which you run just once to absorb the video data, and then you have the query flow, which executes in real time every single time you ask a question. And both of these flows intelligently share your local Llama and ChromaDB services. It is an incredibly efficient design. Let's break these two flows down a bit more, starting with the ingest process.
Think of the ingest flow kind of like a meticulous, hyper-organized librarian reading a massive textbook so they can answer your highly specific questions about it later. First, a Python script fetches the raw captions from the YouTube video. Second, it slices that massive block of text into overlapping 800-character chunks, ensuring that crucial context isn't lost across sentences. Third, it hands those chunks over to an Llama model called Nomoc Embed Text, which translates the English text into those mathematical vectors we just talked about. And finally, the librarian carefully files these vectors away in your local ChromaDB store. This heavy lifting happens just once per video, and then that deep knowledge is yours to query forever.
Once the librarian has read the books, we enter the query flow. You sit down at your computer, you ask a question, and instantly the system embeds your query into a vector using that same Nomoc Embed Text model. It then performs a similarity search directly in ChromaDB. And because this bypasses cloud latency entirely, the search is effectively instantaneous. It immediately pulls the top 3 most relevant 800-character chunks, bundles your question and those crucial context chunks together, and hands them directly to a local Llama 3 chat model. Llama 3 reads that retrieved context, formulates a highly precise answer, and streams it seamlessly back to you.
And all of this powerful back-end architecture, it's beautifully hidden behind a clean, single React component built with Next.js using the Vercel AI SDK. Once your backend services, so Llama and ChromaDB, are up and running, you just open your browser to your local host port. you're immediately greeted with this secure private dashboard that specifically tells you it is ready to chat with your local data. There are zero distractions, just a direct, private pipeline to the exact knowledge you've ingested.
From there, you simply type a natural language request into the chat bar. For example, you might type, "Summarize this video you just processed." As soon as you hit send, your local engine immediately starts thinking. Now I want you to really think about this for a second. At this exact moment, you could literally reach over and yank your internet router out of the wall. You don't need a single ounce of internet connection for this query step because all the data, all the models, and all the processing power are sitting right there locally on your machine. No way around it. That's just incredibly cool.
Almost instantly, Llama 3 streams a highly accurate, context-aware answer right back to your browser window. In this case, it might explain that the video is an introduction to RAG systems, perfectly breaking down the three main steps of retrieval, augmentation, and generation. And crucially, it didn't hallucinate a single word of this. It built this rigorous response using the exact, factual video data securely tethered to your local Chroma DB. It's fast, it's incredibly detailed, and it definitively proves that you absolutely do not need a massive, expensive cloud server to get top-tier AI analysis anymore.
Which really brings us to a fascinating conclusion for this explainer. We have completely flipped the script on AI video analysis. You are no longer renting your brainpower from a massive cloud corporation. You own it. So knowing that you have an unlimited, fully private AI librarian right at your fingertips, one that costs absolutely nothing to run and keeps your data strictly confidential, what videos are you going to analyze first? Whether it's complex tech talks, lengthy documentaries, or even highly private internal company presentations, that knowledge is now entirely yours to unlock. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I hope this sparks some amazing local AI projects for you.